What's going on, everyone? Tayler Kyles here for CLNS Media, reporting live from Media Row here at the 2025 NFL Combine. Now I'm joined by colleague Brian Hines of SB Nation, and we're here to talk Eliot Wolf, and in an interesting comment, took responsibility for the Patriots roster issues last year. Here's a soundbite.
That being said, last season, ultimately the roster was on me. We were 4-13. Just didn't get enough done. Certainly the free agency class didn't live up to our expectations. The draft class, it's too soon to tell, but we were expecting a bigger impact from some of those guys, and we're still hopeful that they'll get to that point. We're excited about Drake May. We're excited about working with Coach Vrabel, and everything that we're doing is to improve this football team and getting to where we need to go. The fans understanding their frustrations. I share those frustrations. It's been difficult. Every hit on Jacoby or Drake during the season, I felt responsible for that. Just ultimately, we didn't get enough done up front. The game is always won on the lines, offensive line, defensive line. Not just because of the Super Bowl. It's always been that way. And ultimately, just didn't do enough to improve the roster to get it to where we need it to be.
All right, Brian, so obviously we'll start with free agency. Did not go as planned. They had a couple hits. You have your Austin Hoopers, you have your Antonio Gibsons, but for the most part, when they tried to go outside and bring in talent, it did not work out. So who are some of the guys that stood out the most to you? And with Eliot Wolf saying that he should have done a little more research and maybe gotten better information, where do you feel like maybe those really stand out?
That was the big thing to me. He said we weren't thorough enough, right? Looking through some certain information. I think you look at the external guys they brought in, you can kind of lump them into some categories. Some guys that were injured. Sayone Taki was one who Eliot Wolf was familiar with his time from Cleveland. So was there something they missed in that search and free agency with the injury? And then a lot of other guys moving positions, Chuksa Okorafor flipping from side to side at tackle. Nick Leverett, an interior lineman, never really played center, though. He was a guard. They moved him to center. Even a guy like KJ Osborne, taking on more responsibility, playing the X a little bit more instead of inside where he played in Minnesota. So there was a couple situations where things were different from what they were expected, and when they say they weren't thorough enough in their search, I think you can look at those things.
And then when we go to the draft, so the offensive lineman, you can kind of understand. He acknowledged Layden Robinson. They didn't think he was going to play that much. Caden Wallace suffered a really unfortunate injury early in the season when he started to make some progress. But really, we're talking about the receivers because Jalen Polk and Javon Baker didn't do much of anything. Drake May was the only guy you expected to be a contributor who actually showed something. So Jalen Polk, Javon Baker, do you think maybe they can take that step in this Josh McDaniels offense, which is going to be more demanding, but you're also going to have people surrounding them that are better at their jobs and more qualified considering what they've done in the past?
It was interesting. Wolf said, organizationally, which is a key word, they put a little bit too much on Jalen Polk because, during the season, he kind of shifted that more to the coaching staff. Today it was organizationally we put too much on him, and he said we've talked about that. He seems to be in a good spot. He's rehabbing an injury right now, so I do think with this new coaching staff it can be a fresh start. When you look at Jalen Polk, maybe you hope there's a little bit of that Jacoby Myers type role with Josh McDaniels, so I think he is going to get a fresh start. We've talked a lot about the free agent wide receiver market. Isn't that appealing? So they might have to kind of rely on him. Javon Baker, though, I'm really not counting on much. He was a fourth-round pick. He couldn't get on the field last year because it seemed like the stuff in the classroom, and now Josh McDaniels' offense, that's going to be even tougher. So not expecting much from Baker, but I do think we might see them give Polk a serious effort to turn this around.
And it's unfortunate because Baker seems like he's got the clearest path to a role. This team doesn't really have a go-to X. That's Javon Baker's bread and butter. And he's known Drake May for years. They had the history when they were both, were they committed to Alabama or were they just visiting?
Committed.
Yeah, committed to Alabama. So you would think that maybe he would have the inside track, but Jalen Polk is the only one who actually showed on the field a certain level of consistency. Unfortunately, got moved around throughout the season, played X, played Z. His playing time kind of fluctuated, so you can understand. And even Steve Smith on his channel on YouTube, make sure to check that out. He and James Palmer did a great job breaking down exactly why they put a little bit too much on Jalen Polk's plate and put him in a position that wasn't fair for the rookie. But now, not only does Eliot Wolf have Mike Vrabel, who Wolf says that he has the final decision, but I think we can kind of piece the puzzle pieces together and read between the lines that Mike Vrabel really is the one who has the vision for this franchise. With Ryan Cowden also helping out, maybe we see some better results. What's going on, everyone? Tayler Kyles here for CLNS Media with a very exciting announcement. Here at Patriots Press Pass, we will be introducing bonus tiers. Now, this will not affect any of the content that hopefully you've grown to know and love over here at Patriots Press Pass. It's all going to be some brand new stuff and extras so we can connect with you more and also provide you some more in-depth, and high-quality content. Hopefully, you guys are going to like it. Here are the tiers and what you should be expecting from all these new bonuses. At Tier 1, we've got Rookie Starter. That'll come with ad-free content, early access to videos, 5% off of all merchandise, and even custom emojis. At Tier 2, we've got All Pro. Once again, ad-free content, early access, 10% off merchandise, custom emojis, but that'll also come with player profile film reviews and draft profiles. At Tier 3, we've got GOAT status. Same as all the other tiers, but it's going to be 20% off of all merchandise, and we're also going to have custom segments, Discord chat rooms with myself and other show hosts, as well as live film reviews with myself and whomever we've got on the podcast for that day, hoping to have some pretty fun guests.